Hello, and welcome to painting. Yes, I know, I am not dressed for the occasion. The kimono needs a wash, so does the headband, and I don't have the energy to be a demigod today. Indeed, Stabru. Rika unsubscriber, or you have no honoru. Here on Paintingu, we speak what is called Japu, a combination of King's English with a slight Japanese accent. Japu will be a legit language one day, much like Klingon and Dwarvish and Elvish. People will be speaking Japu. People will be arguing over correct grammar in Japu. You can be assured of that. Griffu, Desmondu, Stabru, Toekarindibaru. Welcome to Paintingu episode 82. Things are a bit different today. Today, the kimono is being cleansed. Today, my canvas is tiny compared to what it usually is. But the much honored Stabaru, about, a week ago? 2 weeks ago now? Uh, Gave me the hilarious idea of doing a rabbit and a gorilla in the Arnold Schwarzenegger and that black fella pose. I can't remember. Your man Apollo Creed, whatever that nigga's name is. Like, the fucking, what else was he in apart from Predator and, uh, I was about to say Rambo. Rocky. I want to watch them again. Um, I think I've seen the fourth one like once or some shit. And then I think I've only seen the first one once as well. But then I've seen like the other ones multiple times. Which one's the fourth one? Shit, Ivan Drago's the fourth one, isn't it? So it's the fifth one with Tommy Gunn that I haven't seen a lot of, or is that the fucking? I can't even remember. So many Rockies, so many Rambos. I don't think I've seen the last Rambo they came out with. Didn't they come up with another one after like that fucking what was it, 2016 when they made that Rambo? It's a good Rambo. It's a good movie. Gratuitously violent, but like it's a good action movie. Fuck off. He's in Happy Gilmore? Oh, he is. He is. That's hilarious. He's in fucking Happy Gilmore. That's actually hilarious. I fucking love Happy Gilmore. It's a hilarious movie. Oh, I was doing Qigong for a while there before the stream, and like I swear to God, if you suffer from shoulder pain, like tight traps, fucking anything, like fucking tight ankles, glutes, like if any part of your physiology is stiff and not working the way it should be working, or like often like you get like pins and needles or numbness or some shit like, or there's bad blood flow or whatever, get into some qigong. Honestly, like it just fucking like yeah, it takes a while. You'd be fucking holding a stance for like 15 minutes and then change stance or some shit. Like, do you know what I mean? But like once you get into it and you're just like breathing through it, like like I just disappear into my mind, but I can still feel what's going on in my body. It's a weird experience. And it helps so much with like posture and like for me abdominal issues where like my abdomen was like real tight and shit after I got the hernia surgery, and like was very cautious about like allowing my diaphragm to expand outwards, because it would stretch the wound while I was still healing and stuff. And I still have a lot of that. I still have a lot of tension in my gut and my traps and my lower back and mid back and all these fucking things. My calves and ankles are like really tight. And like I'd like doing that for like fucking half an hour, 20 minutes, even doing it for 15 minutes if you do a nice deep one. Like sometimes I'll go for an hour, but I won't go as deep I won't go like actually down into Mabu or horse stance, whatever you want to call it. Like, but when you do that, like Jesus Christ, like a couple of years from now, I want to be like absolutely. I don't want to be jacked, but like I kind of want to be a bit fat. Like, how funny would it be if I was like if I went from the way I look now in a matter of years and I look like a Irish ginger sumo wrestler? I kind of want to be fat, like at least for a while, just to experience the warmth of being fat. Um, you mean the one where he's shooting bad guys in the jungle? I know, right? It's hilarious. Like it's literally the same movie over and over and over again. Like it's just like, but those are the best things. Like if you do them right. I mean, I'd watch like I would watch Starship Troopers. Like if they like well I would like I'd go back and watch Starship Troopers anyway for a laugh. Like I love that movie. It's so like cheesy and funny and like all sorts of reasons for like Starship Troopers to still be one of the best movies ever. But like if they remade it properly, it could be something brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Like if they remade it now, like if the same people in the same mind frame who made Tropic Thunder got together and was like, let's do Starship Troopers again, it would be fucking brilliant. Like if you just lean into the comedy a bit more and like, but still kind of take it seriously, like, it'd just be fucking hilarious. Like, because like the stuff that's like really cringe, but also hilarious about the original Starship Troopers is like, it's kind of attempting to take itself seriously a lot of the time. And like, you're just like, it's kind of like when somebody says a really bad pun or a dad joke, you're like, oh my God, what am I watching? But it's still a brilliant movie for lots of reasons. Like, oh, I fucking woke up at 5:30 this morning. 5:30. Just woke up and was awake, like very awake. Painted for a while, did some turtle drawings and like set up some shit like for the coming days, multiple projects, all this fucking like I'm still like I haven't even touched the clay for the monkey, but I keep thinking about it and like how I'm gonna do it. I need to just sit down and like it's been ages since I fucking did anything with clay. So much fun though. Like that's another thing I'd love to get into eventually is making models and stuff like. Um I didn't watch Mandalorian. Was it all right? Like is any of the Star Wars stuff that came out in the past 8 years like any use at all? Because I just don't have any faith in any of it. Like, and I'm a serious like I don't like wasting my time kind of thing with like media that I consume these days. That's why most of the time I just stick on Deep Space Nine. If I'm not actually like watching something new or like a movie or some shit, like if you haven't tried it like out already, fucking that thing, uh, Love and Monsters on Netflix is actually really good crack. Um, we have another foreigner. Is this hood good? Well, stick around and find out. That's hilarious. Um, yeah, he was a man. What's the Irish qigong pose holding a bottle of whiskey? That the Irish invented drunken boxing. Obviously, how is that not obvious? You think the Chinese invented drunken boxing? Ha 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 ha. It's called drunken boxing. It's obviously an Irish invention. Obviously, a lot of Chinese people are like, well, think about it, right? Like, how many times throughout history have you heard that, like, like, look at the Christopher Columbus thing? Christopher Columbus is this great adventurer. He fucking found America and all the bollocks. An Irish guy told him where to go. Like, like all over the fucking realm, all over the realm, there is an Irish person who fucked someone or built something or killed someone or bombed something or fucking like we're fucking everywhere, man. Like we're worse than the Jews. I've been saying it for a while now. Like years from now, Owen's gonna fucking finally start looking at He's always giving the Irish props, but giving them shit at the same time. And years from now, he's gonna be like, "Man, the Irish are up to something?" Like, because I'm fucking Irish, and I think we're up to something. I've seen some shit where I'm just like, man, the Irish are like crafty, fucking cunning, fucking like the whole leprechaun thing. Like, you know, the Jews have like chutzpah, but the Irish culture is literally like we're so cunning and like fuck with your head that it comes across as if we're magical. Like, people come to Ireland and like Rome didn't conquer us and all this fucking shit. Like, people get to this island and encounter the Irish and are like, these lads are fucking mental. Like, like the type of people to fucking conquer like a whole, like nearly the whole realm, multiple cultures, get to this one island, you know, and they're like, nah, not them niggas, like even the English, like the English, like they oppressed us for 400 years, bollocks. We were just too lazy to kick them all out. There was so many of them, you know, basically invented guerrilla warfare. Like we're so good at bombing shit and nobody knowing, like kind of everybody knowing it's us, but not having any proof. uh, So basically, you want to look like me. Trust me, I don't want to look like me. I've been saying it for years. Like certain angles you see my face at, man. Like there's chiseled, handsome, and then there's gaunt and fucking junky looking. Like, do you know what I mean? I gained a stone and pretty much lost it again in the space of last year. Like, put a load of weight on, started looking real healthy and shit. And like I don't want to be the atypical artist who's like kind of like feminine and like frail looking, like, do you know what I mean? But like for the last 6 odd months, that's kind of like how I've looked and felt. I'm ripped, but in a bad, unhealthy way. You know, like I've said it before. Like I'm just like actually, I think I said it before I started to put weight on again. I was like, I'm like the Wish version of One Punch Mickey. Like I'm fucking jacked, but like in a malnourished way. Like, oh, it's fucking horrible. Mando fell off after season one. Then it became the Baby Yoda show, and it wasn't the same. Yeah, like that's all I seen anybody talking about was Baby Yoda and how cute he is and all this shit. And like, yeah, cool, it's cute and all, but it's like, how dare you do that to Yoda? You know, how dare you do that to Yoda? Reduce Yoda to like, oh, look at him, isn't he adorable? It's like you people vex me. First season was okay. Star Wars Ashoka was really good. Wasn't too woke. Well, at least we know you don't like woke shit. Is this Wood Trainer just under a different under a different name? The Woo and the Pood G. Is that you, Woo Trainer? Bro, it's your favorite this nigga. I just switched my name. All right, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, this would be my permanent name. The truth is out there. You make me want to watch X Files. Stop it. Oh God, where's my rag? Where's my royal raggy? Right, so today's tunes I have selected for us today, while I paint like a fucking mad looking rabbit and a fairly realistic looking silverback ape joining forces to battle evil itself in a jungle environment. Courtesy of our very own Stabaroo is this idea. I foolishly wasted 2 weeks, nearly 3 weeks, now and then painting a jar of Vegemite for an elf. This was a mistake. That bitch is going on eBay. Ashoka was god awful. I didn't. I looked at the trailers and I was like, nah. Like, I heard in terms of the movies, I heard Rogue One was like okay, and like wasn't Donnie Yen in that? Like I like Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen's like on par with like Jet Li and Jackie Chan. Like, um, have you ever seen any banshees or fairies? No. I've heard some weird shit. And I've felt some weird shit. That's about it. I've never actually seen something like not consciously anyway. I used to have some fucked up dreams. Like in that sense, I've seen some weird shit. But in the Irish folklore sense, no, I've never heard a banshee. And like that could be a fox and shit. Like, don't they like scream like this? Like they have a weird yelp and shit. Irish folklore and balladry is an integral part of Irish culture. It's what draws me in. Yeah, like our culture is fucking cool as fuck. It's very magical. It's real. It's what inspired a lot of Tolkien's shit. And I don't know enough about it. It's the type of thing, like it's something I might actually introduce on painting you over time. Is like fucking dipping into it, dipping into Irish culture, and we might do some paintings to do with Irish culture. As much as I want to fucking keep larping as a samurai, like an Asian Asian Irish demigod, I don't have the fucking energy, and I have so much other shit to do. I really do. So this is what I've decided to do. I've decided that Paintingu is going to revel up in many ways, and I'm going to stream. I'm actually going to be streaming more, which might sound counterproductive to what I've been saying yesterday and today. But my plan is this: in the mornings, I'm going to stream off of my phone on YouTube, and I'm going to do doodles. And the current doodles are going to be tactical turtle doodles. So you guys will get to see me, you'll get to see the whole process. Me, like, draw out the rough things, pick the ones I like, go into the ink, inking them once I think they look good enough. Then either using like, the ink, alcohol markers, and watercolor is usually what I use for sketching and shit. Because I sketch very vague. My sketches are very vague. I don't know if you could tell that my sketches are vague as fuck. Um, but I'm actually getting pretty fast. This is one thing I really like about the fact that I just kept doing painting goop for like a year. Is like it's after making me extremely confident with just picking up paint and just putting it on a surface and like getting something that looks good without like any kind of forward planning or like my confidence with the brush and the paint now is like actually insane. I've like no fear behind it, which is bound to come in handy. Um, but I must focus. I must refocus my chi. My chi has been scattered. Too much of my chi has been spent on LARPing as a demigod. My chi now requires more focus. Skull Sparrow, welcome to Paintingu. Uh, what you smoking? Ashoka was good. Rogue One and Andor was okay. Ashoka was ass bad. Oh, I love it. I like. I seen there's this like drama going on at the moment, right? To do with a game called Monster Hunter World, and it's one of my favorite games. I fucking love Monster Hunter World, and it's basically this. It's a game made by a game developer called Capcom, who are like they're very famous. They're well known for they did their Street Fighter, Resident Evil, the list goes on. Monster Hunter is one of their projects as well, one of their IPs, and it's like it's recently gotten like a lot of attention, and it deserves it because it's an amazing game. But some fucking absolute gobshite of a female has sparked a load of drama because she faked doing a blindfold run of one of the more difficult bosses in the game, this dragon called Alatreon that has like multiple elemental abilities and all this shit. And she allegedly blindfolded herself and like used her knowledge of the game and sound alone and like feedback from the controller and the fact that she's supposedly slayed the thing like 4,000 times, to be able to do it blindfolded, like, and there's this massive controversy now over whether she actually did it or not. Like, and there's dudes like spending hours breaking down the footage and like proving that she's lying and all this shit. Like, And stuff like that just makes me sit and like I'll be looking at my phone, I'll be like, or I'll just be listening, I'll be cooking, or I'll be drawing, or I'll be doing something like and that's just like just on in the background. And I'm like, it reminds me of that Tommy Tiernan joke where it's like, the news is always like famine, death, the world is fucked, the world is fucked, you're all gonna die, But then he goes and makes a cup of tea and looks out the window and there's birds in the trees and there's rabbits in the grass and and he's like, but they said, like, and it's like the juxtaposition, the disparity, the massive disparity between real life and this internet shit. So many people have like gotten into this mode where and Owen's a great example of it. Like he's so polarizing, and like how many people that know about him or that like watch him all the time have even met the nigga. Like, do you know what I mean? That's like I'm like a fucking massive fan of his comedy and like the bear community and all this fucking shit. Like, and like I see people like act like psychos. Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, it's the same everywhere now. It's like people will argue tooth and nail digitally over the maddest shit. But like you well know that like fuck all of them in person would actually like hold to that like standard. Like, do you know what I mean? That's one of the things I like about the people I've met in the bear community that I have a good relationship with is like they seem like real niggas. Like, do you know what I mean? Where they just shoot straight from the hip like I do, and it's like, look, this is the truth. Either you like it or you don't. And like, it's fucking so rare in this like mass zeitgeist now of the population where like people would be like I seen this thing on YouTube that was like clear and like for me someone who's like not in the mainstream at all. I don't know who celebrity is dating what celebrity and all this shit, and I seen this post on YouTube and it was what's that cunt's name? Is it Nicki Minaj? No, it was Cardi B. Cardi B and Eminem have announced that they're dating, and I looked at it. I was like, that can't be real. Like that's not real. Like, and I'm totally out of the loop. And I went into the comments, and the amount of people who like put a comment in where they're like they clearly think it's real, and then you've a lot. Then you've like two or three people in the comment section that are like, dude, this is fake. Like, do you know what I mean? Cardi B's been with the same nigga for ages or whatever. Like, and like, it's just so funny to me how like people will fucking spiral over what they believe to be true without considering even for a moment if they know it to be true. Like, if you know something to be true, fair, react. It's the truth. Do you know what I mean? But like, if you just have a belief and an opinion, then like all you should be doing if you're doing anything is like speculating and asking questions. Do you know what I mean? Oh God. Can't believe Ray Stevenson died. He was Balin Skull in Ashoka. He was a good actor from Northern Ireland. I think I seen that headline a few weeks ago. Was it like I can't place his face though. Ray Stevenson was a boss lad. I don't know what character he played. At least if I need a place to hibernate and hide out from PO9, y'all got me covered. The Pona, like the police. What the fuck is the Pona? I always say FTP. I don't know what language you're speaking, nigga. You're not speaking Mal. I said that before on a recent stream. With all these like ATP, FML, like was it like shake my head and SMA, all that shit. I'm so fucking like I feel like so old when I read that shit. Shit spread all over every club in the court. Yeah, I know it's crazy. Like every group, every community, every fucking franchise, everything is just crazy polarized now because people are so like somebody will say something or have an opinion or like something. Well, that's another thing is I've noticed like there's a ton of fucking fake shit now. Like things being fake are just like it's just like part of life the last few years. These things you'd see on YouTube that are clearly scams and it's being advertised on YouTube. Like That alone to me is like like how like shouldn't that be like fucking insanely illegal? Like if YouTube can kick people off their platform for having opinions, but they'll have stuff on their fucking like charities and ads and like dating stuff and all like that don't even look legit. Like they're clearly fucking like pyramid schemes or scams or clickbait or any of these things. And YouTube's like, yeah, you can do that all day. But if someone just like speaks the truth, do you know what I mean? They're like, oh God, oh the fuck, yeah, like you know, it's wild. Like we live in such a wild time. Like, but anyway, let's get some tunes going. Uh, Stabaroo gets it. I believe I trust Stabaroo's opinion. I mean, if you're that much of a Star Trek fan, like you're probably the guy to believe about shit like that. Like, although who knows? I mean, like these days, I don't know. Like, I could watch a show and be like, ah, it's all right, you know. Like I used to be worse. I used to like just see trailers and things and be like, I will not blaspheme my eyes with such filth. Like, you know, and like part of me is still like that. When I seen the Halo trailer, I was like, oh, you bastards. Oh, you franchise raping bastards. Right. What's this again? Oh yeah, I found classical tunes that go hard as fuck. This is Paint Paint. I think I'm gonna do a. I don't know if like. Should I just do a grey rabbit or to make him brown? Because you can't have a brown silverback, you know. Well, not that you can't, you know. It's still my stream. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I dare you, Defender, to watch one episode. I might like. I fucking. Part of me like. Part of me does want to watch stuff now that I know I'm gonna find abhorrent to like increase my like defenses. Do you know what I mean? Like I want to start doing that now. Like I want to start like increasing my ability to put up with like shit I detest. I want to be like a fucking. I'm real Shaolin like minded. I find going too far in any direction, spiritually, mentally, physically, is like a detriment to yourself. Like you should kind of like touch all points and then return to center, in my humble opinion. New shields. Oh man, I'd well believe it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, fucking the whole UFO stuff. I don't think UFOs is like actual extraterrestrial shit. Like, it might be extraterrestrial in the sense that like extra terra, like, do you know what I mean? Like over the ice wall shit or whatever. But like, I don't think space is what they say it is, like at all. You ever seen a movie Treasure Planet? I think space might be like that. I think space. Like I think there's waters above. Do you know? I thought like I if it's not like what we consider to be like water, like H2O. I think just like there's like different forms of water in like deep ice and different forms of water like under the deep sea. I think you could have a form of vapor or liquid that's like really dense, and like that's what space is. Obviously, I could be wrong. Like I'm just opinions and speculation. A smidge of brack, just a tiny bit of brack. Yeah, fuck it. I'll do a brown rabbit and see how we go. I'll do a brown rabbit and see what happens. Space is fake and gay, I agree. But like, I am one of those that's like, yeah, but Star Trek's still awesome though. You know, like, I can't deny that. I will not deny that part of me. I still love Star Wars and Star Trek, and I love like spaceships and so. Like to me, all that shit is basically naval combat in science fiction realm. That's all I see it as. It's just naval warfare in science fiction realm. That's one of the reasons why I love Star Trek Deep Space Nine, because I think the kind of like what would be I think like a lot of the stories and a lot of the lore in Star Trek Deep Space Nine is like an allegory would be the term, I think, or like it's basically like a metaphor or allegory for a lot of like Israeli stuff, Israel Palestine stuff. I think it's like about like Jewish shit. Like it's basically the history of our realm, but they put it in space, changed the names, and made everybody aliens. But it's like probably between the years of like 1100 and 1600 in our realm. But that's just it up there, because like a lot of it seems like I'm not even a history buff. I don't know like a lot of history in detail and shit. But it just, that's what it feels like to me. It's like, you know, Bajor is basically Israel, you know, and like, but then it's not like the Bajorans are the Jews, because the Ferengi are made out to be the merchant class kind of Jewy fuckers, you know. Klingons are basically space Japs, you know. It's all about honor and like a good death and all that shit. Like, it's fascinating. I want to make this rabbit like real mean looking. The gorilla kind of stoic, but the rabbit's going to be like a mean fucking hairy fucker who like looks like he's been through shit, like, you know. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm going to give him a knife that's like made out of a carrot. Can't go wrong with the classics. Oh yeah, I didn't watch any of the modern. The last modern Star Trek I watched was Enterprise. You know, the one with like Archer or whatever that guy is. Like, and like some of that was good, but I think that's the latest one. Well, no, I liked some of the movies. I like the new movies. The first two, anyway. I didn't see all three of them, I don't think. But I liked the first two movies. I think Cumberbatch did an okay job as Khan. You know, he obviously didn't do like the same kind of job as the other fella, like back in the day. But like, he had that kind of presence. You know, he had that like the he had that vibe of like that towering intellect and like he's scarily intelligent. He had that vibe like um I joke about Hyperborean hovercraft, but I believe it's real beyond it. Man, the second I heard that you could make fucking that you can make mercury float by spinning it at a certain speed and shit, I was just like that. I in the last couple of years, I have really. I sound like I'm roaring over music. Let me know if the audio's okay. Um, in the last few years, I've really started to look at the whole realm as just like one big alchemical reaction, and think like matter and energy just like bouncing off each other and interacting and shit in this like glorious symphony or orchestra of like God's creation. But that's also one of the reasons why I don't think that this realm that we're in particular, necessarily had to be made by a divine intellect or entity or some shit. Like, I think, you know, because there's a high probability that there's more of the realm than we know about. Forget about space, just like what we would all refer to as Earth. I think there's like more of it than we're told. I just like I think like just like creatures like animals in a pen or like uh being farmed or whatever. And like whether you fucking want to believe that shit conspiratorially or not, we are definitely being farmed for multiple reasons in various ways. Whether by criminals and corrupt government entities or actual like spiritual, vibrational, electrical, fucking demonic entities, you know? I just like I really am like a truther. Like I look at what could logically and speculatively be probably possible, and I try to eliminate what could basically be impossible. But like I always kind of leave room, like I said before. It's like I don't like very few things are seem to be impossible, especially when you take in the whole free will thing and like fucking to a great extent, like we can basically do whatever the fuck we want if we feel like it, and if we lack the discipline to fucking have a bit of self-control, people. Gonna need more of that. Bring that over here. Every time I think of like when I'm working on the palette now, all I can think is like I will road the parrot, and I just get an image of a parrot like just like laid out on a road. Man, speaking Japu is hilarious. They literally had a trans character tell a gay character to use their pronouns properly in Star Trek Discovery. Oh my god! Like, oh, of course they did. Like fucking Owen said something on his latest stream that I fucking like thought was so true. It's like the the cultural tendency for quote unquote like whites to be like exceedingly polite and nice and like hospitable and accommodating and all that shit like is one of the main reasons things have got this bad. Because think about the amount of times you've been in a room full of people and like you can tell that everyone knows that what's happening is wrong, but nobody says that, you know? And like what happens is most people will like talk about it when nobody's listening or when they think like they won't be judged. I don't give a fuck about being judged by other people, I do genuinely care about being judged by something greater than myself. if there is a purpose, if there is a plan to all this, which I think there is. I believe that there is some sort of grand scheme in all this. And even if that grand scheme is just like is that it's just it was built this way and it just keeps happening. Like that to me could be the like God's plan, is he built this thing that just is self-perpetuating and like just goes through cycles and just like goes on for eternity. Like I don't this whole beginning, middle, and end shit seems like one of those things that we invented, Like a story always has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yeah? Well, what about all the sequels and prequels and fucking, like, fucking offshoots and knockoffs and fucking sidetrack fucking things? It's like, there's something in us that tells us, like, fucking, in a sense, this has all happened before. And we've done this already. We're just like doing it again and remembering. I'm big into that idea. I'm big into that idea that a lot of this is we just remember shit. And I think the more in touch you are with like whatever you consider to be God, the more in tune you are with that, I think that's what allows you to like have that sense of like, oh yeah, like there is a plan, there is a purpose, there is a way. And I think that's why they try to like distract and tempt and like take you away from the light and like all this stuff. Like they try and keep you off course constantly because like if you're able to get in contact with that subtle nuanced feeling of like if you're just paying attention, it's like there seems to be a pattern, a weave here, like, do you know what I mean? And not just in the flowers, not just in the realm itself, but within us and in our patterns and like in our behaviors. Painter's choice, defender son. No. I'll paint whatever the fuck I want. What's more of an upper decker? Lower decker? Upper decker, lower decker. What are these decks? We talking about ships? Are you Australian? You talking about dicks? Upper deck, lower deck. Little plumber's putty around the PVC pipe in 3 spots, all done. Oh, you're doing your own plumbing? I had to fucking engage in my own plumbing there a while ago. It's a fucking absolute wreck ahead. Yeah, man, like, it's doing the whole DIY shit, like, is not as hard as, like, people would think it is. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of things are very straightforward. Like, plumbing's not difficult. Like, basic electrics is not difficult, but it gets very complicated because there's like all of these like fucking you need to know what you're doing, like, and it's dangerous. Plumbing, not so much. It's like in that way, out. There's an in and there's an out. It's like just follow the. Obviously, plumbing could get complicated as well, but like like the basic stuff is not fucking difficult at all. Like. We're nice until we're not, and I'm tired of being nice. Yeah, like, it's the culture, the zeitgeist is starting to get like that. Like, that's why, like, the pendulum is shifting because enough people have been like, right, I've had enough. And no one's right. When that happens, it's like, woof, get the fuck out of the way. Like, I've seen, like, even, I've seen black people, like, I think Griff, did you share that video where it's like there's black people who are like, are you serious? Like, if when the whites kick off, like shit's gonna go down. Like, do you know what I mean? Because like Eddie Griffin had a joke like that where it was like, it definitely it wasn't it wasn't no fucking what way did he say it? Like, he's watching the bank robbery that went down where the lads pulled up in the car and they had like fucking bulletproof vests on and helmets and shit, and they had like, you know, fucking drum clips in their fucking assault rifles. It was like military tactics shit, like. And somebody turned around and was like, "Man, do you see them niggas that robbed that motherfucking bank?" And he was like, "Them ain't no niggas. Them ain't no niggas. Niggas don't do shit like that. Niggas are like, nigga, you got your 9? Nigga, I got my 9. What shit, nigga? What you got? Well, I got a 45. Well, shit, nigga, let's go." Like, it would have been a short shootout because niggas would have had one clip, and it's like, and the crowd's in bits laughing because it's so true. Like, low impulse control blacks will just like you know, hold up a store with a pistol. Do you know what I mean? And like they'll only have like one clip in it, and like they don't plan ahead, you know, and like that's the same in the same like light when you use that same argument from the whites' perspective in this situation. You'll have a lot of whites who are very, very, very adept at tactics, killing, like stuff like hunting, you know, where they like literally shoot and kill shit and skin it and eat it all the time, like, and use various parts, like, you know, like I can, like, the kind of hell that could break out if you had white wrath now, like, would be fucking mental. You'd have all these, like, I could see it now, you'd have all these, like, redneck dudes who would go hardcore and just start, like, they'd start doing the shit that we've been told, like, a lot of that shit happened back in the, like, all this stuff about, like, we was hanged, we was hunted down, we was, like, we was, you know, we was oppressed. That's what'll happen. Like, 'cause it's in everybody's heads. So if the switch gets flipped, and like you have all these whites who are like, race war, like, it would be off the fucking wall. You would have like retrofitted Toyotas with fucking spiked rams. Like, it would be like a zombie apocalypse. Do you know what I mean? Like they would go fucking nuts. And like everybody knows it, you know? Which is one of the reasons why it's like, it's this constant, like, it's that tension. That building tension has to go somewhere, you know? And that's why, like, you get moments where it's like there's temporary like release valves. There's release valves like that, and they orchestrate release valves. It's like, oh, this will keep the people quiet for a while, like, you know, we'll give the people a hero temporarily. Oh no, how come oh PEINTEINGU. It's all bullshit though. Like we all know it's all bullshit. Like, they've managed to rope like, you know, a lot of people into their bullshit, but like, I have a strong feeling that the majority of like everyone in the realm, I don't know how many people they say there's billions, I don't fucking know. The majority of people in the realm, in my opinion, are probably, you know, very, very moderate. Very moderate, you know? Like, I'd probably be seen as someone who's, like, a bit, you know, of an extremist and shit. And a lot of that would probably just be because of the energy I give off, because I don't give a fuck. I'll say whatever. I'm a bit mean looking, like, you know what I mean? And, like, that's not because I'm fucking, you know, a potentially gun-toting, racist, murdering psychopath. It's because I have been made bitter by this society that has grown degenerate and tolerant of degeneracy. Like many of you, you know? This is a face of weathering society. You know, like, that's what's written all over my face, is weathering family issues and society for 15 odd years. Like, this is the face of comedy being shit for like 10 years. Like, that's about it, like, you know. And I think most people are like that. I swear to God, I think most people are like me. You know, and like I'm sure a lot of people would be like, "Oh, that's an incredibly narcissist." I don't know. That doesn't sound like narcissistic to me to say like that. I think most people would be like me in the sense that like I don't want to see anyone like get fucking brutally murdered. I don't want war. I don't want any of this fucking shit. Like, you know, and like I also know that the people who would call me a coward for saying stuff like that are like, "Oh, you're just a bitch. You don't want to fight." Like, it's like those people sound like they've never been in a fight. Like, you know, like that's what all these lads who are like, "Yeah, let's go get him." I'm like, off you go. You know, like I like, just because I'm not stupid doesn't make me a pussy. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm just not stupid. Like I'd fight if I had to. You know, I'm one of those niggas. I know the reality of what could happen. I know one well-placed strike can change your life. You know, this ain't no cage, nigga. One well-placed strike can fucking change everything. Can change how you look. Can change literally how you fucking breathe and think. Like that poor young fella who got punched in the back of the head and ended up like paraplegic and shit. Like there's been a whole fucking storyline between the UFC and boxing because like a lot of people and doctors and shit are like boxing's way worse because smacking each other with 16-ounce pillows is like really bad for your brain and shit. Like just like the NFL stuff where it's like wearing all of that armor is not going to keep you safe. It's actually going to get you killed, nigga. You don't see the rugby lads with all the CTE. Like, yes, some of them, but like it's nowhere near as bad. People just like a lot of this art. Like, I don't know. People could accuse me of fucking armchair politics and armchair this and armchair that. I don't give a fuck. But like, I just speak my mind. But the people who I see genuinely, like, you know, spouting a load of armchair shite, there's fucking loads of them now. There's loads of these people, like, you know, fucking like, well, you know the fucking the nerd fucking emoji. Well, it's like, well, actually, you know, like it's like, fuck off, nerd. Like, even though I'm a bit of a nerd, like, I don't know. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think the difference between me and most people right now would probably simply be the fact that I'm willing to just fucking say it how it is. Like, even if it's going to make me look bad. Do you know, like, that's the thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I have a good sense of, like, if I look at a situation and I feel it in my heart where I'm like, oh, fuck, I done fucked up. You know, like, I'll put my hand up and be like, my bad. Like I've had to do that before. Like I've had to be like, yeah, that was me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then everyone's like, how could you? And I'm like, because I fucking hate you all, and I felt like it. Like, you know? Like it happens. Like, you know, it happened to me, and I know it's happened to a lot of people where like you just like. You become bitter and like cynical because like there's so much shit out there that like almost every day when you go out in public you expect something to go wrong or you expect someone to just be a random cock for no reason, like. But like like I'm trying not to be like that now, and I'm doing a pretty good job of it. The last few years, like I fucking big into like, you know, compassion and forgiveness and understanding and all this shit, like instead of just being angry all the time, like, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful. I love Stargate. That's actually one I want to go back and watch all of because I never watched all of it. I like dropped in and out. But I really like Stargate. I really, really, really like the aesthetic of the gold in Stargate. I think they're fucking awesome. the way that like their armor like fucking came up and shit. Like, and for the time, like that was pretty cool. But you could tell, like, you know, those moments where it's like, all right, we're gonna CGI the helmets onto everyone now, and they like have to stand pure still, and like the only thing that happens on screen is the helmets moving. Everyone's like, I love that shit. Like, you know, it's like you'll see that a lot in old movies or something where they're like they have to like pose, and then like they'll do the CGI overlay, and then they like like in Star Trek if they get beamed out like mid fight or some shit, like, you know, like, you know, fucking like, Scotty, chew the beam up, and they like jump off a cliff, like, and then they like show up in the teleporter room, like, oh, I fucking love that shit. Like, that's one thing that I would love to like know is like, all right, say you teleport something, would it carry over momentum and inertia? How would that work? That's one of those things that like fucks with my brain. Like if something moved and you teleported it while I was moving. Because there's an episode in Star Trek, I think it's DS9, I'm not sure, but there's an episode an episode in Star Trek where somebody uses a rifle that fires a bullet that can teleport. And like that's how they assassinate one of the guys on the station. I'm pretty sure it's DS9. And like when I watched it, I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like, that's one of those things where I'm like nerding the fuck out. Or like, that's fucking cool. Like, that's a really cool concept. Like, you have a bullet that like has a built-in transporter device, like, you know what I mean? And it just like teleports past the obstacle. Like, just like that's kind of like to me, that like if you were like coming up with like a sci-fi shooter or something, like, do you know what I mean? Like Halo or some shit, right? And you had like an online multiplayer shooter, and like one of the guns had had bullets that could go through walls. It's like the type of thing that everyone would bitch about. Like, that fucking gun's bullshit, man. Like, it's oh. Yeah, same. My dad would have Stargate on, and I'd just like sit there and be like, "Oh, this is cool," but like I don't remember much of it, and I didn't watch all of it. Like, I'd love to go back and watch Stargate. And what was I thinking about the other day? Where I want to go back and watch it? Can't remember. There's loads like things pop up all the time, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I want to watch that again," and then I just blast through it. I'm like, that was satisfying. Like the Harry Potter movies, like. I actually, like, I want to do it again, like, sometime soon. Like, I fucking love now just, like, sitting down and watching Harry Potter 1 to the last one. And I'm like, it's just such a cool, like, as far as world building goes and what happens in the storyline and all, it's just really cool. It's really cool. The ending's a bit anticlimactic. Like, it's like, all right, it's over now. And like when they break the wand and like chuck the thing, I was kind of like, well, what was the point in that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there was a few things where I was like, oh, I didn't know that happened. That's a bit shit. But like, it's not like I'm not even arsed going back and reading the books. Like, do you know what I mean? And I know people, like, there'd be people that judge me for that. Can you believe that shit? People would be like, oh, you're so lazy, you don't read. Have you any idea how much more information your brain processes now because we're looking at screens and images and shit all day, and like that's how your brain works predominantly, is like shapes and color, and like your brain just like takes like a million photographs a second and shit and all this stuff. Like, if you're just staring at a page with words on it, yes, granted, I will say that if you're interested in increasing your creative and imaginative capabilities, then yeah, reading's probably one of the best ways to do that, because it just forces you to just like think about stuff, like, you know. But I just have a natural talent for like a really good third eye. I can like see shit in my head to like a pretty vivid degree, where I can like turn things around in my head, like in a 3D sense, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I can like think of something in my head and I can like turn it around and imagine what it would look like if I like manipulated it in 3D space. And like, I don't know how many people can do that. Do you know what I mean? Because I was really surprised to hear like, I don't know if it's true or if it's like just one of those like zeitgeist rumor things where it's like you'd be surprised how many people don't have an internal dialogue or some shit. And like, it's not like I hear voices. There's no, like, I don't hear anything, but there's something there, you know, like, and it does say shit. Do you know what I mean? But like, is it just thoughts? Is it you? Is it just you? After years of meditation and shit and like looking into that stuff, like, from, in my opinion, the whole like I am made of multitudes thing has a truth to it. I don't necessarily know whether I believe in. Oh yeah, like the more I think about it, like demons are probably real, but like, are they what we think they are? You know, are they like a predominantly malevolent, you know, entity or whatever? I don't fucking know. Like, I think like the whole thing of like, you know, oh, if it's a demon, it's bad. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's a mistake. And I'm sure a lot of people would be like, oh, here we go. Like, you know, fucking, that's a sign that you're probably a bit demonic. I would subscribe to the idea that, like, in the heart of every man, there is the potential for demonic behavior and saintly behavior, whatever way you want to, like, break down. I know for a fact that I would make a significantly shall we say, efficient bad guy. I'd make a good bad guy. Like, trust me, if I just came to the fucking like decision of like, okay, just no fucks given anymore. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, don't have like an internal moral quandary about anything. Just do as thou willst. Oh my god! Like, the shit I do. Like, and that's how I know what it is with most people. Like, they're like, Owen's right. Like, you have no idea how many people don't do shit because they know that there may be consequences. You know? Like, it's so true. Like, there's loads of shit I didn't do because I'm like, okay, well, society has deemed that to be bad and there's going to be X, Y, and Z consequences, so probably shouldn't do that. You know? And like, that to me is just like a moderate intellect. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just I'd call that common sense. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't do that. Like, you know, like, there's a shit ton of people out there who don't even have that. Like, there's a shit ton of people out there, and they're not just black, who literally just act like monkeys. You know, like, they'll just look at something and go like, like, just like pure emotion. And I get it, like, you know, like, I fucking, you know the way Owen's always talking about, like, where, like, I've a bit of nigger in me. Like, man, seriously, the Irish people are white niggers. Like, I think that's why people like Irish people so much, like, do you know what I mean? And I think that's why people find us so mad. We're both. We're not white and we're not black. We're redheads. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we have both. Like, I think that's pretty obvious. Like, I think that's pretty prevalent. I think it's pretty easy to see. If you look at a lot of Irish people, you know, like all of Irish people, and you look at their behavior and shit, like, you know, the stuff that we get up to, like, you know, like, we fucking love partying, we love fighting, we love drinking. We love doing, like, you know, exciting, dangerous shit. Like, you know, we have some of the best fighters throughout history. We have some of the best fighters, some of the best poets, some of the best artists. Like, all throughout history, there's always an Irish dude doing something awesome. You know? I'm very proud to be Irish. But, like, just like every fucking other, like, breed of human, it has its downsides, like, do you know what I mean? The temptation to just be pissed all the time is a genuine thing. Like, it's so fun to be like, I love being not drunk, but like I've said this before, like my optimum, like if I was to just do as thou wills, my ideal like flow state is like really high on really nice weed, and then like a little bit pissed. That's like that's my fucking end zone right there. Like that's where I'm in like peak condition. Like for me personally, like do you know what I mean? Like probably not actually, you know. Probably actually is like fucking like really healthy and all this fucking shit. Like like maybe if I get supercharged by fucking the right kind of magnets and sound waves, so my bones will heal themselves instantly. I don't fucking know. I don't see any reason why there wouldn't be some kind of device that we could create that would like just basically fix you in a few minutes. Would just like regenerate your cells on a like really fucking on a base level, and it probably would use sound or some shit like It's so funny to me how we live in a time where like you'd say some stuff that like like I'd say something and be like, I think that's possible, and people would be like, you're mad, but then you know they'll subscribe to like NASA telling you that like Uranus smells like farts or something like like I just like when people turn around and it's like, do you hear that? Do you hear that the science community discovered blah blah blah? And I'm just like, shut up. And I get that like people would be like, you're so arrogant, you think you know everything. It's like, no, I'm just not a bell end like you. Like it's we're sick of being polite. We're sick of being polite about it, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you're just this, that, and that. It's like, no, nigga, it's like that. You're a fucking idiot, like, do you know? Like, that's the real reality, and you're not my problem. Sean Strickland got screwed in the title fight. Oh, by the Australian fella. From what I've seen, yeah, I mean, like Strickland fucking like pieced him up. Your man looked like he was in bits after the fight. Like, I always think that's hilarious. It's like, and your winner is, like the guy who looks like he had the shit kicked out of. The other guy standing there with like a bit of a cut eye, just like, yo nigga, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? I just bet the fuck out of him. Oh. All those young men that ran off to war have no line to their name anymore. I know, like, like it's dark, man. It's fucking dark. And like, I used to have a little bit of that. I wanted to be a sniper. I was like, I would totally defend, this island from foreign incursion, and the way I would do it is I would sit in a nest and await them to arrive, and I would pick them off one by one. like a hunter would, like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I was saying the other day to Griff on the Telegram chat. Is like, how I view all this is like, do not fuck with me, and I will not fuck with you. Shout out to Eddie Griffin again. But like, that's how I see this shit. It's like, I have no interest in conquering, and I think that's what the Irish were like originally. Like, maybe they weren't. Maybe the Irish way, 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 way long ago went around and it was their turn to conquer everyone. I don't fucking know. Back when they weren't called the Irish, they were called the Gauls or the Celts or something. I don't fucking fairies. But it's like, there's just these cultures that developed a sense of like, I'm gonna go there and take that. And yeah, I know there's an argument for like, if you're in a location and you can't grow anything and there's not a lot of food and like, building supplies are like, what if the clay is not very workable, and it's like you have to make everything out of wood, but then there's a lot of forest fires, like, do you know what I mean? So that's the thing. Like, there could be a myriad and like a multitude of variables as to why you would have a genuine reason to seek out other lands to live on. But conquering, like, I could totally see a fucking like uh, an organic argument or then war breaking out between two people where a group of people show up and they're like, our land is plagued and there's a drought. We had to leave. Can we fucking post up here? Can we live here? And the lads who are there already are like, no, get the fuck. And it's like, but we'll die. And then there's this like, all right, some of you can stay, but the rest have to go that way. There's like, we think, as far as we're aware, there's more land that way or whatever. Then you have all these treaties and agreements and contracts and like codes of honor and all this shit. Like we're not perfect creatures. We are creatures. Just because we have like way more of an awareness than the rest of the creatures around us that we know of, or that we've been told of, doesn't mean that, like, fucking, like, that's whole utopian shit. Like, why can't we all just sing Kumbaya and get along? Like, have you been outside? Like, those type of people come across to me as just, like, fucking brain-dead pussies. There's always gonna be people who, like, not just disagree with you, like, and that's one of the reasons I do genuinely believe in, like, evil and demons and shit. Because some people do stuff that just doesn't make any sense. But it makes sense if you include the whole theory of, like, evil entities, then it makes sense. Your father was a violent fucker? Was it bad growing up? How bad was it? Like, really bad? Or, like, just like, I'm not going to do that to my kids? Or was it like, I got to get the fuck out of here? Uh, yeah, like, I totally think we have, like, portal tech. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Because I think, like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Christopher Gardner, like, but, like, I don't know if he coined, like, I don't think he coined it, but he says it a lot. And was it, like, Rudolf Steiner or Tesla? I can't remember, but, like, frequency is location. Like, sound is everything. I don't know if that's like actually true. It's probably not, but like sound is like when you talk about like the four base elements. I know there's more than four. Like you have like earth, fire, wind, water, and then fucking you have like earth and lightning and like blood and like all of these like base elements or whatever. Like, but one of the base like fundamental elements I think is sound. Because ever since I seen that you can create light using sound in water, that, like, the second I seen that, when I seen that and I seen the zinc flash that happens when a sperm enters an egg, I like, those are some of the things I've seen in the last few years where I'm like, holy fuck. Like, that's interesting, There's a few things I've seen where I'm just like, oh, okay. That changes things. Like, my friend's car quit on I-95 about 90 minutes out of me. I was able to get him home. Today I'm double grateful for my vehicle. This car just crapped out in the middle of the road. That sucks. That was good of you to go and rescue him. Why is that there? Get rid of that. Be gone. Be gone from me, Satan. Get rid of it later. 80 mile per hour speed limit in SD is nice though. Do you ever see that shit that like they don't have a speed limit on the motorways in Germany, is it? It's like, oh yeah, you can go as fast as you want, yeah, Blast it, nigga. Just be careful, yeah. I want to watch Inglourious Bastards again. Like, I don't care what anyone thinks of fucking Quentin Tarantino. He makes fucking amazing movies, and like Inglourious Bastards is one of the fucking most intense, like, character dialogue things that I've like. The dialogue in Inglourious Bastards is just fucking amazing. It's so high quality. It's funny. It's like captivating. Do you know what I mean? It's a combination of like really good, like your man Christoph Waltz, so good. Like That's one of those movies that I want to watch again sometime soon. Fucking amazing movie. I think making the rabbit brown was a good idea. Stands out more. Man, this guy's gonna look like a fucking like insane, like mutated junkie rabbit. I love it. I might put piercings in his ears. I always thought rabbits, like when you did like, fucking like evil or like intimidating looking cartoon rabbits, I always thought piercing their ears was brilliant because like you could just put so many piercings in their ears because their ears are so long. It ended up looking like one of those Chinese swords, that have all the rings in the spine. Like, this is so funny. Yeah, I've heard that they have the medbay tech and all, like where you basically just lie in a bed and it, like, just like bang, like a little vibrate and like fix most shit, like, and that's why I think it's sound. Swear to God, I think it's all sound. I think it's just like certain frequencies and shit, like, because think about it, it's always like real simple, you know. Like everyone's always trying to figure something out. It's like, is it this? Is it that? Oh, it could be this. It could be that. And then you finally get to the solution, and it's like, that's it. Oh my God! Like, do you know what I mean? So like, I think it's just sound. I think if you know the right, like, you know, pitch and frequency and like harmonics and like all that shit, it's just like it has to be the right sound, and you will get a certain effect, and you just work from there. Like, like whatever about, like, those med bays where you see them all like doing laser surgery on them and shit. Like, I'd say like how it actually works is like you could just put like some kind of like speaker over them and go to certain places and like project a certain frequency, and it would, like, it would just do shit to you, like. Uh, Best written dialogues of any films. Yeah, like the stuff in Pulp Fiction is brilliant as well, and Django Unchained is fucking awesome. Welcome to PEINTEINGU. We're feeling crushable today. The bar scene is my favorite scene of any film. Yeah, like it's so good. Like where they do that card game and all, where they guess like who they are and shit, and like then the shootout and like the lead up to the shootout, and, like the veiled threats and all. Like, it's fucking brilliant. Like. Well, yeah, the UFC has been gay for a while, UFC has been fucking gay for a while now. Like, it's long gone are the days of like Pride and like, these guys like Dan Severn and shit, like, or Mark Hunt. I used to love watching Mark Hunt fight, or Dan Henderson. Mark Hunt, Dan Henderson. Obviously, Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva was just like murking fools. Like the way he dropped Vitor Belfort with that front kick, like, you know what I mean? What you gonna do, nigga? What you gonna do? Fuck your face, nigga! Like, just, and it was like the cover of the video game was like his foot and his face and all. It was like, it's fucking brilliant, absolutely brilliant, like. Try and get that sunset effect going. Go back in with the yarrow. Seriously, one thing I love so much about the gouache is like the just not even just gouache, but just like the high pigment stuff is like I'll just do this and then I'll cover it later. Like you don't have to worry about anything. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just let it dry, go right over it. As a great man once said, "There's no such thing as mistakes, only happy accidents." Just imagine fucking Demon Hunter Bear just like lift, just like pushing a lot of weight to this, just like, oh, beautiful. Like, benching, benching like an animal, like, be fucking hilarious. It's probably just as well I don't have a mic yet. Can't hear me fart occasionally. Need more of that brown. Indeed, helping friends out in a jam is what one should do. Behooves you to help your fellow man. Christoph Waltz is probably a weirdo in real life, but I do love his acting abilities. Yeah, probably. But yeah, like, totally agree. Like, he's fucking just... The dude's unreal on screen. I want your fellow countryman Fassbender to star in a Tarantino film. Fassbender was in a Tarantino movie. He was in Inglourious Basterds. What are you on about? Fassbender was in Inglourious Basterds. What are you on about? I'm gonna go lighter with this. or red in that. Want dark brown, not black. Oh, okay. You want him to be like a lead. I get what you mean. Yeah, I like Fassbender. He's a good actor. I didn't touch that fucking Assassin's Creed movie though. Second I seen the trailer, I was like, ha! Not watching that. That bar scene was his best acting period. Some actors just thrive under certain directors. Well, I seen another movie. Not that I don't really recommend this movie, but I remember seeing a movie called The Counselor. Michael Fassbender and what's that Latin bitch? What's her fucking name? She's like Spanish or something. Oh, I can't fucking remember. But basically, he's like a lawyer or like a financial advisor or something, and he gets in with some criminals, and some horrible shit happens. And it's a good movie, and there's some gravy in it and all, but like it's very graphic, and the start of it is like basically porn. Like literally the first 5 minutes. I remember sitting there watching it with my friend at the time, and the two of us were like, Jesus. Like it just starts with Penelope Cruz, is it? Yeah. She says some mad shit like in the first 5 minutes while they're in the bed and all. Like me and me chap looked at each other and we were like what the fuck, bro? I still enjoyed it. Like it was a good movie. Like it was gritty and it was like very real. And like there wasn't a lot of action in it, but when there was action, you were like, oh my god, that was so fucking intense. But like I don't think I'd watch that movie again because like it's dark. Like there's a scene in it where you're just like, whoa, that's real as fuck, like, and it's not pleasant at all. but like but like I said, I mean earlier on, there's a part of me that wants to get very like resistant to like watching shit. So I could just like watch something to like, glean something, if anything, useful from it. Um, like you don't like. I'm of the opinion that you don't want to put you don't want to put yourself in a state of like vulnerability by being so pure that like you can't stand even the slightest degeneracy. Like, do you know, I think that's swinging the pendulum too far the other way, especially too quickly if you were to try and do that now. Like, if anything, it'd take generations to like make things like really hyper moral again. I think that's just a reality of the situation. Every time I think of Inglorious Bastards, I remember that scene. Yeah, it's the one that most people were like fucking doing clips of and shit like that and all that, and the baseball bat one. That was a Ridley Scott film. Seen it way back. What did I say? What movie was I on about? I can't even remember now. Oh, the counselor. Was that a Ridley Scott? Fuck off. Was the counselor a Ridley Scott movie? That actually makes a lot of sense. Very dark. Very, very dark. Like I remember feeling like, bad for him and all, like, but at the same time I was like, what did you expect? Look at the people you're dealing with, like. Fordu, welcome to Paintingu. You start getting some black outlines on these. The gorilla still needs a bit of work. Let's stick with this bitch for a moment. I want to get like a dark grey going, like not black, dark grey. That's what I want to give it. Oh, pardon me. Just a smidge, a drip, a drab, a drop. Do you know what like this music is making me think of? Do you know what those claymation movies from like would it be like the 70s and 80s or something? Or even before that? Like Jason and the Argonauts, Sinbad. I used to watch loads of them on VHS when I was a kid. My dad had a few of them. Where they were like the Greek myths and like some other cool, like, well known stories. But they were like, old school. It was like Star Trek era, but not sci-fi. It was like fantastical and shit. Like, and I remember we had like the Golden Voyage of Sinbad, or the Voyages of Sinbad, and then we had Jason and the Argonauts. We had another one. Can't remember though. I want to go. Like, part of me wants to go back and watch some old movies. Like we mentioned before on stream. Remember Beastmaster? Any of you remember Beastmaster? Fucking mad film. I don't actually remember much about it. I just remember those things that like fucking like engulf you with their wings and like spit acid all over you. I was fucking horrified as a child. Well, I know that one. more of it. Wanted Assassin's Creed to be good, but they dropped the ball on that one. Oh man, how could you think they were going to do a good job at that? They fucking got Fassbender to do it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's just like the second I seen it was like Michael Fassbender and it was Assassin's Creed. I was like, why? Like, what? Do you know what I mean? They're clearly just getting an actor that like has a bit of clout on him at the time, and it's Assassin's Creed. So it was like Michael Fassbender's name and the brand that was Assassin's Creed was like enough to like get enough people to fucking go and watch it. Like I don't even. My dad said he saw it and he thought it was cool. And I was like, of course you did. You've never played an Assassin's Creed game in your fucking life, so of course you thought the movie was good. Like, which is of course what I assume people are like when they're like, have you even read Lord of the Rings? And then you watch Lord of the Rings, like the books aren't like that at all, and it's like. I guarantee I'd fucking read The Lord of the Rings and I'd be like, man, Peter Jackson did a pretty good job. Dark Bobs and Vagine will bend the tuning fork. Oh, that's hilarious. And now I will heal you. Ding! Use the classics to avoid copyright infringement back when. Did not have to pay any royalties or draw up contracts. Like, man, like I fucking think that stuff is so stupid. Like, if you were an artist and you make music, would you not want people to hear your music? Like, if people are using your music, would you not be like, that's awesome, they're using my music? Now everyone that watches this is going to be like, what, like, where can I get that tune or something? Like, you know, is that not free advertising? This whole notion of like, oh well, you can't use our music. It's like, why not? Like, what? You don't want your music to be associated with like what we're doing? Like there would be if I made music, and then somebody put my music in a fucking porno or something. I don't know. Maybe I'd be like, yeah, get that out of there. Do you know what I mean? Like. It would have to be something like that I'm totally morally opposed to or some shit. Or if it like used my music to make a point or something, you know? Like if they're just using your music to use your music because it's good music, why not just let them use the fucking music? Like all these fucking like copyright infringement things and all, like it's like fuck off, like that's pure like that's mine. Like, you know, like that's how that comes across to me. Like, you can't use that. That's mine. It's like you've put it out in the public domain. Like, it's on the fucking radio. You're making like millions a day, like off of like iTunes and shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, shut up. Like, the rabbit's gonna look fucking insane. It's gonna be awesome. Painting go, painting go. Oh. Sip, sip. You took the painting from my mind. It's so close to what I imagined. I am here to serve. Oh. If you would like to pay for Paintingu, link in description. I can literally fit Paintingu into anything. Paintingu. 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 Go 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 go. Paintingu. Go 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 go. It was meant to be. All the songs in the realm are secretly made about Paintingu and nobody knew. Paintingu. How funny would it be if like a load of fucking people started coming from it? Like, get our music off that painting stream. Oh god. Painting goo 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 goo. Do 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 do. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. We are trying rayers upon rayers upon rayers to the Paintingu. And eventually, we have ourselves a Paintingu. I was actually thinking about how hilarious like the tagline paint is because I'm painting paint like to paint with paint. You paint like like these want a Paintingu t-shirt with it like a design or like my logo or some shit. And it says paint on that. So it's like Paintingu, paint. Or do you just want a t-shirt that says paint? Like, I could do both. Do like Predator's eyes in one of the trees or something. This might be a bit tricky now. Trying to just stick a lot of grass in here. Different bitch. You get the right bitch for the right job. That bitch is not the right bitch. Give me this bitch. think it's coming together nicely. It seems like an easy thing to just transpose a game onto film, but they always have to mess with the base idea. I mean, like, it goes both ways. There's only a few video games that are made about a movie that are actually, like, in any way, shape, or form decent, and then there's only a few fucking movies that are made about a game that are in any way, shape, or form decent. Like, they're fucking rare, you know. My best example is always Predator. Like, Predator is one of those movies where it's like, if you made a video game about where you're the Predator, it's like one of the coolest fucking games ever. Well, apparently not, because they've made like 20 of them, and there's been like a few different companies who have tried it, and they're all shite. I wouldn't mess with that rabbit. Forget about the gorilla. I know, like, he just looks like a mad cunt. I love it. Like, I fucking like fashioned a shiv out of a carrot. Like, oh, there's something about rabbits that I just fucking love. They're a brilliant animal to animate and to do caricatures of. They've many features that like work really well to like what's the word, like, if you what word am I looking for, if you exaggerate them, if you exaggerate the ears and the eyes and the teeth and the big feet, you know, and give them tiny arms and stuff, like, you know, like I have a purple rabbit, Boss Hop is what I call them. I think he's in the Telegram chat in those pictures that I have up for sale. Because I just thought, like, he just started off as a sketch, and I was like, oh, he's actually pretty cool looking. He's over there, actually. I'll get him. Defender ass! Or is he it? I tried to. I for a while I was like trying to design. I've done multiple like bear profile pictures. Like, I did Metal Bear's profile picture. I did Sleep Deprived Bear's profile picture. I did a little doodle for Juju the Cube Bear. And then I stopped doing them. Like, fucking like moved on to the next thing. But I was trying to make like a profile picture for like me as like Defender Bear, but we'd already started doing the samurai stuff. So like Defender Bear, like as a cartoon, was going to be like, you know, some kind of like Japanese fucking bear or some shit. Like the one that, like, Blythe Bear did this of me for my birthday. And like, look how cool that is. Look how awesome that is. Me as a bear in the kimono with the fan and the headband and all. It's fucking class. Like, she even got my eyebrows right though. Like it's hilarious looking, like, but it's like beautiful looking as well. Like check it, fucking shout out to Blythe Bear. Just fucking unbelievable. Like, look at that. Like, so good. Like, this is the one I did. Kind of like an old anime, you know, fucking like sensei bear, you know, like the beard turned out really well. Other than that, it's very basic bitch. But I think the cherry blossoms up top were a good addition. But what was I saying? Where's this fucking thing? Yeah, Boss Hop is actually one of my favourite little doodles that I've done for a while. Actually, if I put that one up, like the sketches and the doodles, I think like of like 50 quid. You know, if anybody wants one, if anybody likes one of my sketches or character things, I'm only going to charge like 50 quid for them or something, like, because that's how much I paid for a sketch that I bought off like a legit artist. Dude's unreal. But like, I was fucking around with greens and purples for a while, so I made this little like cartoon chameleon thing. I might make a sticker out of him, actually. He'd make a cool sticker, or even a t-shirt. I might put him on a t-shirt. A baby chameleon. But this is Boss Hop. And when I came up with him, I was like, oh, he'd be a cool little cartoon character. like a mafioso, rabbit who's like a fucking like a proper criminal, like you know what I mean? And but like still has that kind of like, yeah, what's up, Doc? Like with the whole kind of Bugs Bunny thing, like you give him kind of like a. So you think you can sell cocaine on my streets, big boy? Like that kind of thing, like like I'd put him in like a gritty crime cartoon that's like it's for adults but it's a cartoon, like I love adult cartoons because the humor can be so good. That's one of the reasons Archer is so funny, like um oh yeah, I'm really digging the tunes today as well. I think it was a good choice to calm the soul. uh, Alien Isolation was one of the truest to film games, anxiety inducing. I heard that. I never played it, but I've heard nothing but good things about Alien Isolation. Yeah, it's a fucking awesome fucking painting, isn't it? Like, it actually does look like me as a bear. Yeah, Blythe Bear is talented as fuck. She really is. Like her watercolor shit. Like, that's watercolors. It's fucking beautiful looking. Like I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know if anything I've painted so far would be described as like beautiful. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I do cool shit. You know, I do cool shit, and then when I'm not doing cool shit, I do like funny stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I love that. Like I kind of like I'm like falling in love with that as my style because it suits me. You know, it definitely suits me. Like, man, I'd love to make like a fucking South Park style cartoon fucking thing. Imagine how fun it'd be to be like, if we all just like sat down and wrote something like that, and then like me and a few animators like designed it and shit. Like I know Wobbly Tunes, like they're working on the bear stuff and all, like, but I'd want to do like all the IPs that I've made up in my fucking head over the last few years, like I've a shit ton of them, like a shit ton of them. Like, too fucking many, like. There's sometimes where I'm like, I fucking love it if like a fucking. I'm gonna throw yellow on this as a base, try and make it bright. Um, I would love it if like some mad cunt with a load of fucking money was just like, I will fund your project. Like, oh man, the fucking shit I'd make. You guys would fucking love the stuff I'd come out with, like. Because you have the same sense of humor as me, like, and yous are into the same shit, like sci-fi and this, that, and the rest, and all like funny stuff and all, like I'd love to have like a. Where did me Royal Rag go? I'd drop it over there. Oh, I left it up there. I'd love to do something like South Park or Archer or fucking like have our own thing like Adult Swim. Like, I probably will get in contact with Wobbly and like some of the other like cartoonist bears. Like, that guy is doing animation lessons and stuff. Like, I just can't afford to take time out of my routine like to learn a new skill right now. I need to use what skills I have now to make money now. Defender ass. Oh, jeez. Trying to stand up from a low-hanging stool after like an hour. My fucking ass is numb as fuck. Definitely, the world could use another smart arse rabbit. Like, yeah, I'd have like a criminal. I'd have a crime boss version of Bugs Bunny. He would be this like smart ass, like really intelligent, like actually really intelligent, but like he's this cunning bit of a bastard, like, do you know what I mean? And like would just be a horrible cunt to be on the wrong side of, like. And like I was gonna design all of his like like all of his henchmen wouldn't be rabbits. You do them as something else, like do them as like some kind of like mole or mice or some shit, like like pull a Disney on it, like make them all look hilarious, different sizes and shapes and shit, and like he's just this purple rabbit that is constantly smoking cigars and shit, and he's like wearing these massive leather shoes, like like I'd love to do it like a whole a whole cartoon TV show that's just hilarious. Like obviously have a story and like but kind of like South Park where it's like you just have characters and a setting, and you just think of some random shit, and you just like depending on the story of the episode of what you're doing, like you use different characters and stuff, and like keep other characters in the wings, like The Simpsons or fucking Family Guy, like some episodes wouldn't have certain characters. Certain episodes would introduce a new character, and then they would be a running gag for a while or some shit, like Duffman. Like Duffman is basically the Simpsons version of like the Kool-Aid guy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, like I'd love to do something like that, but like, you know, like that's all art is like take a good idea and then like change it. You know, take something that like is a bit, take something that has a bit truth to it, or like a great creative spark to it, and just like manipulate it and turn it into something else. Like like if you know anything about the Dark Souls genre in gaming, like that's one of those things where it's like they made Dark Souls, or they made Demon Souls, and then they started to go through like Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2. By the time they got to Dark Souls 2, there was like hundreds of iterations of that kind of game, and the term Souls-like just became like this phenomenon in the gaming community, where it's like, oh, there's another game that's like Dark Souls. Oh, there's another game that's like Dark Souls, because they hit this formula that was just fucking perfect, that a lot of people liked, and like there was loads of different people playing Dark Souls. Like people who only played shooters like still played Dark Souls. People who only played FIFA played fucking Dark Souls. That just sounded like a lot of white noise for a second. I was like, fuck, the tune's fucked. No, it's just God telling me to stop ranting. Because I'm nearly at 2 hours now. Rabbit's got a groundhog and a badger as bodyguards who are always getting into trading bars. Yeah, like I'd love to do a real like a noir setting crime drama, but they're all animals. Like, do you know what I mean? And like they're mad looking. Like, do you know? Like, and it's adult. It's very graphic and adult, like Happy Tree Friends graphic. Like it can be really gory sometimes, but because it's cartoons, you can kind of like play around with it, and make it funny and all. Like there's a big difference between cartoon violence going over the top and then real like pretend real violence going over the top. You know, there's a big difference between gore porn and anime violence, where like somebody gets their head cut off and like fucking fountains of blood spray over the wall. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes that can be both comedic and also like add a bit of like gravitas to something happening. But like when you deal with real people and you deal with like really good special effects or like props or whatever, it can just feel so real that it's like disgusting and like traumatizing. Like you've heard of people like fainting in cinemas when they go to watch a Saw movie or something. You see somebody's face get fucking crushed or ripped apart or something, or somebody's arm getting broken at the elbow and the bone coming out. Oh, got the fucking hiccups. Some of that stuff can be too real, It like jars your system where you're like, Jesus, I don't want to see that. Like even when you're enjoying the movie, how many times have you been like, oh, like you wince or like you pull away? Like what does that tell you? Right. Ladies and gentlemen, bears and bearettes, niggers and niggerettes. I hope you have enjoyed today's painting goo. We shall continue the rabbit and gorilla painting tomorrow. Until then, I will love you and leave you. If you would like to support the stream, there's a link in the description. If you'd like to buy my merchandise, there's a link in the description. If you'd like to buy anything that I've done on any of the streams, or anything I have for sale, DM me. Leave a comment in the chat, so on and so forth. I and my dearest feline brother Carlos remind you to Rika and subscribe, yo Conta. Don't make me take off the bucket and unleash him upon you. So, from all of us here at PEINTEINGU, including little Mini Beru and I, and the monkey, I bid you farewell. Be good, be true, and be beautiful. And I will see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. sharp. Be here, or you have no honor.